Engine 10 highball. Yay! Okay, that worked.
It's a highball?
Right, yeah, it's highball. I can't shout this far, yeah. Oh, that's fun.
Isn't there a way to use hand signals if you want to do some work for
I could do go, but that's like a, well, I don't want to do it now, but it's like an away from me signal. You can do it nice and loud, but it's really, we're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to have multiple forms of communication. Yeah, so sorry about that, guys.
No worries. Yeah. Ethan, this is my brother Zach.
Nice to meet you, Zach.
My sister. This is my sister.
You too. Thank you. And your sister-in-law? Hi. And you're from Colombia. Are you from Bogota? Oh, very cool. Well, welcome here. Thank you. Thank you, Tori. Radio's working now, so.
Okay, good.
I gave the defective one to Ken, so.
It matches.
Yeah, right?
Maybe it just needs to be charged.
No, I don't know what it is. It just was not going. Yeah. So we will be out of this sun in about 3 minutes, but that breeze is probably already feeling pretty good. All right, everybody. Once again, good afternoon and welcome aboard the the Yosemite Mountain Sugar Pine Railroad. As we get going down the track here, I'd like to direct your attention to the left side of the track, where you'll notice a track spur with some railroad equipment on it. All of our equipment that we operate with today came from the West Side Lumber Company, located in Tuolumne, California, about 100 miles to the north of us. They operated with steam trains for their logging operations well into the 1960s. Logging in this area began in 1874 with the California Lumber Company, and then in 1899 the Madero Sugar Pine Company opened up its doors. They were granted 33,000 acres to clear cut, stretching from Chowchilla Mountain to the north all the way to Speckerman, which is this mountain here on the left. During the 32-year operation, they completely clear-cut all of the 32,000 acres. As we're coming up through the trees here, you look on the tip of Speckerman and you'll see some very tall trees. They're about 100 feet taller than the others. Those are actually giant sequoias from the Nelder Grove, off on the left there. The tallest one that you can see in the dip of that saddle there is the bullbuck. He is about 2,700 years old. He's about 320 feet tall, which is just a little bit shorter than the Statue of Liberty. Believe it or not, we couldn't see that too long ago. We had a fire here in 2017 called the Railroad Fire. You'll notice some of these trees around us have burn marks on them. It's called the Railroad Fire not because it was started by us, but because of its proximity to the railroad. It was actually started by a certain electrical company that we are legally not allowed to name. They were doing some cutting of a tree. They deemed it fire hazard because it was overhanging a power line. Turns out that tree was a fire hazard because when they cut the tree down, it took the line down with it, started a big old fire. It burned for 12,000 acres for about 3 weeks. You can actually see the burn scars on Speckerman on the left. And if you look up to the right, up the hill, you'll see all those singed trees going out toward Chowchilla Mountain. We had another natural disaster, so to speak, in the form of the Mono windstorm. We had 150-mile-an-hour wind gusts in January of 2021, and it knocked down literally thousands of trees. We had 63 trees fall over our own right-of-way, and our tractor had to work pretty tirelessly through 4 feet of snow to get our right-of-way cleared to resume operations. There are 5 types of trees that were heavily logged in this area, the first one being the black oak. You're going to see some black oak on the left side of the train. They don't look so black anymore because they're all singed up, but they usually have a pretty dark colored bark and a W-shaped leaf. The black oak wasn't used for lumber, instead it was used for firewood. We had 5 wood-burning Shay locomotives that went through a cord of oak for every hour of operation. What they would do is they'd cut down the tree and buck it up into rounds and then split it, allowing it to season alongside the right-of-way. Then anytime the train needed to take on more wood, it would simply stop by a pile of slabs, picked up what it needed, and kept going. The Native Americans had a different use for the black oak. They would take the acorns, grind it up into a flour, and make sort of a flatbread out of it. It would help them get through the lean winter months. It's a very protein-rich little bread, very calorie-dense. My buddy Will is a Miwok Indian, and every winter he makes that bread. It smells really good, but it actually tastes pretty gross. Like upsettingly gross. Yeah. It's actually really sad how gross it is. It smells so good.
We were kids in the 70s, the visitor center in the valley. That whistle means that we are headed into Horseshoe Curve.
This curve up ahead was carved in 1906 and finished in 1908. There was a 20-man gang of Chinese laborers that carved it out with hand tools only. They did not even have a single stick of dynamite. These men work 6 days a week, sun up to sundown. To kind of give you an idea how tough their job was, you can see how high the mountain is on the right side versus how low this curve that they cut out of it is. They took shovels and axes and picks and stuff, and then they took all the dirt, loaded it up into wheelbarrows and wagons, and dumped it out into the center of this curve that you see here on the left. We actually have a picture in our station from 1911, in which case you can see the dirt mounds in their original configuration, and they are still there today, just covered in all this vegetation. Another type of tree that was heavily logged in this area is the white fir. You see white fir growing on either side of the train. It's got a very pale colored bark and a singular needle that grows right out of the branch of the tree. This time of year it's real easy to pick out because the needles are kind of neon green. White fir is the most commercially farmed tree in this side of the United States for Christmas trees. So if you recognize it, that's probably where you've seen it before.
You can really see some of the mono wind trees here that got knocked down. Yeah. That one, and then there's another one, that big stump. That one was apparently the toughest one to cut to get out of here. Yeah, we have a 36-inch bar saw, and it was gumming up on this guy. And it didn't help that the guy, our track foreman, had to hold it over his head to make the cut. Yeah.
As we come through the curve here, I'd like to direct your attention up to the left, back into the center of the curve. You'll see some reddish colored trees. A lot of people think these are redwoods because of the color, and you'd be justified in thinking so. However, they are actually incense cedar, no relation to the redwoods at all. That color instead comes from tannin, which is a chemical that makes the bark red when it hits the sun. The incense cedars were not really used for lumber. They were used milled into logs for rail ties, and they're also milled into furniture. As an avid outdoorsman myself, I love the incense cedar as it's a natural insect repellent. If you ever have a campfire and you throw some cedar leaves on it, you will have no problem with mosquitoes, gnats, or flies whatsoever.
Half truth, but it's semi-true. Yeah,
So they make cedar chest and wool and stuff in there to keep them off. I
Yeah.
think they use them toothpicks and pencils.
Yes, yeah, pencils, yeah, and toothpicks, yeah. Apparently, I was looking into the giant sequoias. The only thing they could mill them into were toothpicks and matchsticks because they're so soft. Yeah, yeah.
How old was that one?
2,700. That's the bullbuck. Yeah, you can actually go up to mill the road. It's really cool.
The last two trees that were logged up here are both pine trees. The pine trees were the money makers of the Madero Sugar Pine Lumber Company because they are what they milled into usable lumber. So pines grow really tall and straight and have relatively few knots, so they're perfect for milling into lumber. The two pines that we have are the ponderosa and the sugar pine. If you look up on the left, up on that hill, you'll see a very large sugar pine tree. Looking up, you'll see the pine cones hanging off the boughs. That's a dead giveaway that that's a sugar pine. Sugar pine cones can grow in size between 10 to 26 inches in length. They fall mid to late October and they don't weigh a whole lot, but sometimes they'll fall in spring during a heavy gust. They'll weigh about 8 to 10 pounds because they're loaded with sap and seed. Then it's like a cannonball hitting the ground. The other tree is the ponderosa. You can see several ponderosas on the right side of the train. They have sort of an orangish colored bark. Very rough looking, kind of resembles puzzle pieces if you look closely at it. Another way to tell apart the ponderosa from the sugar pine is that the ponderosa has needle clusters of 3, whereas the sugar pine has needle clusters of 5.